We are now recording. Okay, so welcome. We're going to be going over a indicator I've been kind of working on for a bit, for about I'd say like 4 or 5 months. So if you notice down the bottom left of my screen, we have statistics running. The statistics are actual real statistics that are not based off of any funky junk. They do not run backwards testing. They only run forwards testing. The reason, oh, not forward testing, they only run forward because if we get an alert, I'll show you. But basically, the way they work is when the alert is placed, that would be what you'd, I guess, consider your strike price. So it watches where the alert pops. So if the alert, let's say on this candle, popped right at this price level, it remembers that price level and it waits till this candle closes, and then it tells you win or loss, which in this case, it was a win. I'm going over the bugs in this thing too. There will be, just so you know, there's a final version coming out in January. I got hacked, so that kind of put a killer to me getting the final version out of this. But there will be a final version. Again, I'm putting it out there now so that people can start to play with it, get an idea, and like you see in that everyone works together, you get a better ideas of how to use some things. Um, so the indicator itself, this is on the 1 minute chart. The only way it works is once you've added the indicator in, is that it will only run forward. It will not look at any trades that were placed in the past. So if we go back here and look, all this stuff back here, it'll mark things, but it won't take them into account because it doesn't actually know the real time that it triggered. So if we were using those type of statistics, it would not be accurate. Let's see, we got AUD Why am I getting an alert on AUD I didn't think I had that one up with it. Oh yeah, I do. Let's jump to it real quick. Okay, so if already closed, and we noticed the arrow does go away. One of the parts of this indicator is it has an ADX cross, so this arrow will go away, although it will still record the statistics on it. So it does keep statistically correct even if the little arrow disappears. It's still going to record this as a trade. If we watch here, we're at, let's see, 2143. And I don't want to know about my bank account balance. Okay, so in about 37 seconds. Okay, so why does it only work on Markets World? If we look real quick, time is frozen at 37 seconds. I'm going to be kind of jumping around this video to catch it, but see how time is frozen at 37 seconds, and we just jumped to 21 seconds. So if we were using this with a traditional broker, what would have happened here is if you took a 60-second trade, this thing would have been stuck on price there for that entire time, and it wouldn't have given you an accurate result. So the way this indicator looks, 21:43, 6 seconds to go, is MT4 runs off ticks, not time. Every time you get a tick from your server, like this is a Wanda or Trader's Way, whoever you're using, a tick updates your time. So 22:43, we did get the update, and if we look, it was a check mark, so it was a win. It does not do it till it gets the first tick of this candle, which means that this candle has closed. So that's what I'm saying. This was specifically designed for Markets World because it's the only way I could get accurate stats. Markets World, and I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I like them because it's a free demo and you can dollar trade with them. So anybody can jump in and practice with them. If you're not a big fan of Markets World, this probably won't work so great for you. Just an FYI there. So let's get to it. How do you use a statistical lag? Like my voice is lagging. Let me see if I got anything running. Okay, it's recording, so it'll definitely be there. The way you use the indicator, and let me find it. Okay, so the market moves in waves. We know that to be profitable in binary options, your ITM percentage has to be above 60%, 65% depending on your broker. So some brokers have gone cheap and moved below a 70% payout. So what you're looking for with the statistics is when overall the statistics are above 60%, you can go with the signals. If the indicator happens to flow below 40%, then you would go against the signals. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but not really. That's basically anything 60 or 59% or below, or anything 41% or above, you're in a no trade situation. Basically, you don't want to trade it because it's going to be kind of like a flip coin type situation where you're just flipping a coin to see if you win or lose. Again, this can be applied to any indicator that gives you an alert or an arrow, because what it does is it takes the price at the alert. You see how all this is telling me right here, it says buy signal at. So the 81865, that is the strike for it. And let's see, this was... God, I can't even see. Bid. I'm sorry, I'm like half zoning out. Okay, but anyway, so how do you use the statistics then? So overall, if we look at here, and down at the bottom left, the first thing we have, this is the overall percentage of the indicator. So this indicator is sucking ass, basically. It is doing freaking horrible because it's doing 33%. So what would that tell me? We'd want to reverse the signals on this, because if it's running at 33% overall, it's actually running at 67% accuracy if we reverse the signals. But what we want to see is the market moves in waves. So what we've done is, here's the last 100 trades, which is 33%. I didn't turn this on until last night because when I was hacked, I lost my VPS. So I don't have a full 100 trades. What I recommend before you let this thing kick in, get at least 100 trades going. Once it's done, and I'm going to cover how to use a VPS too here in a bit. I have a video out for it that's linked. But so last 100 we're at 33%, last 50 we're at 38, last 25 we're at 44, and last 10 we're at 40%. So this one for me, just looking at it, I would say this one's too borderline for me to trade because we're at the 40% cutoff and we're above the 44% cutoff here. So we're into the coin flip type trading. AirQuest, yes, that's who it is. He's a pretty good coder. He could probably take a look at it. I'm going to cover the bugs here. Sorry, I just saw your comments. I'm going to show you the bugs that it has next. There will be a full version out in January, but I wanted to put it out before then, because before I pay to get everything done, because I'm going to add in one other section that I'll cover in a second. I know, I skip around a lot. So let's look at some of the other ones. Here is one. It's running overall 39%. Last 139, last 50, 36. Now notice the numbers are going downwards. So last 50, 36, last 25, 32, and last 10 we're at 20%. So for the last 10 trades it's actually running at 80%, and the last 25 trades, and this is reversing the trades, the last 25 we're running at whatever, 68% accuracy. So the next thing we'd look at, because now we have a chart we can trade, we would reverse the signals, but we do have something we could trade. So in order to avoid a little bit of confusion here, what I'm going to do, and I don't recommend doing this, but to explain the concept, I'm going to remove all the candlesticks so we can see something. Bull candle none, and bear candle none. And line graph, let's go with none. So once we remove everything, now let's just squish this down. Statistically, this is what this chart looks like. We notice a lot of the signals don't have arrows. Again, this indicator uses an ADX cross. So if the ADX uncrosses, the arrow disappears, but you can still see there was a signal that was recorded. So looking at this chart, what we can see is by reversal trading it, these are all losses. These X's are all losses. When you trade a statistical indicator, it is very important. You want to try and match the statistics as close as possible. So when it fires off, you want to get into the trade as quick as possible. I was testing this on 1 minute for about a month and a half, and at first I was like, no, I want to try and get a better entry, and I was just totally screwing it up because I wasn't matching what the system was popping out. I wasn't matching how the statistics were telling me to trade, so I actually wasn't doing very well. Once I said screw it, just ignored everything, and I traded what the alerts were giving me, I did pop up much better, and I got into the 60% range. Some days, hell, one day I got 80-some%. It really, on 1 minute, I think it's too fast, but I wanted to prove the proof of concept that you can use statistics to help improve your trading. Okay, so let's look back on this thing. So if we're looking at, I'm going to zoom out once and hopefully this won't get too screwed up. My computer went to sleep here, so it didn't record these trades. This is when I woke up. Again, I forgot to turn it, so I'm normally running this on a VPS, so it never shuts off. But if we look back at these trades, if we were reducing it, all you have to do is look at all these. If we would have gone opposite, these would have all been ITMs. This one would have been an OTM, ITM, OTM, ITM, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. Okay, now, this is not a popular type of way of trading, but I just want to point it out. Since you have statistics here, you know when to go against or with the signals. The next thing you have is visually on your chart, you can see how, if this thing is getting 1, 2, 3 losses in a row. So some people do like martingale trading. I do not encourage it at all. So let me make that clear. I do not encourage martingale trading. But looking at the chart, if you were martingale trading this would give you a pretty damn good idea that martingale trading would not fail you, because we are not getting, and again, we're going against the signal, we're not getting two wins, which would be losses for us in a row. So if you got a win, this would have been a loss, and then you could have martingaled it, this would have been a win, and then immediately you would have got another loss, but then you could have martingaled it into win. What happens here is you're not seeing two check marks in a row at any point, so a martingale strategy, if that's the kind of risk you like to take, would work, and you can see it visually on the screen. Um, let's expand this out a little bit. Any questions to this point on how you can use the statistics, what you're looking for before you start trading a chart, and when you're going to be sitting out? You want to just keep in mind this. This is basically it. And when the market does not move in waves like this, all pretty like this, it does move in kind of funky waves. The statistics are there to help guide you when to get in and out of trading it. It will work on any indicator. We know a technical indicator can't see market conditions. So this kind of helps you out with if you have a technical indicator run or you're running a technical type system. This can kind of help you see, well, holy hell, it's starting to do bad. Performance is dropping on it. So that's why I say don't focus on this indicator itself. At the end on the forums, I'm going to post up the name of the coder. He honestly, if you mention my name, you'll have the indicator. Just give it to him and say, hey, can you apply this to my indicator? He'll probably do it for 15 to 30 bucks. If not, maybe someone mentioned AirQuest. AirQuest has actually worked with this indicator. This is a modified version of that win-win indicator. We can go in and look at it if you want. This is a modified version of the win-win indicator. What I added in is RSI, and I'm running RSI backwards. Why am I running it backwards? Because if you run RSI backwards, we're trying to pick up continuations. And it also helped get rid of the multiple losses in a row. What I was looking to do is push out something that would either do very good or very bad. I wasn't looking for a coin flip indicator. So hopefully, any questions before I move on, and then we'll start covering the bugs, and then we'll go on to what I'm probably going to do with it in January. Again, though, I'd love y'all to play with it so I can get feedback so that we can see if there's anything else that can be done to develop it in to help y'all out with your trading. I really like it because it does help me notice when market conditions are changing, because my percentages will start reflecting it before I notice sometimes. Okay, so it doesn't seem like any questions. If you think of any, just type them in. I'll cover them as I go. So let's get back to what the bugs are on it. Okay, so as we can see, and let me get back to that one where I was showing. Where's the one with nothing on it? Okay, so as we can see, sometimes here's an arrow, here's a check mark, here's an arrow, here's an X, arrow, X. Sometimes it works great, and it will do them correctly. If ADX uncrosses, it doesn't draw the arrow. That's going to be depending on the type of indicator that you place it on. And with this indicator, the ADX cross makes the arrow disappear. I am going to go ahead and get that fixed just for general measures, so that it doesn't uncross so you can see the arrows, because it does kind of bug me that they're not there. It does still record the statistics. In the version that I'm currently coding, it goes last 5 trades, last 10 trades, 25, 50, 100. So it'll help you pick up a little bit quicker on what's going on. Now, here are the actual bugs that it has, is that when you get an alert back to back, the arrow will draw, then the check mark will draw. Now, if you get it again, what will happen is, since these two right on top of each other, they will it cancels out the statistic for some reason. I'm going to get that worked on in January. Again, I was in the process of doing it this month, but after I got hacked, I kind of said screw it, and I'm taking the month off. So what I'm going to be doing, in January, we'll be getting it fixed, or if someone in the group, any of these groups, wants to fix it, that'd be great. But if you get a back-to-back signal, it will fail to record the statistic. What needs to be done is the check mark and the X need to be dropped down or above a bit so we can still see the arrow. Right now, it is drawing it exactly on top there. Can't hear. Boo. I'm recording it. Can anyone else not hear me? Okay. Okay, so again, let's get back to the bugs. The bugs again are that the check mark and X are drawing on top of the arrow, which is canceling out the statistical feed. So I believe once we have it spaced out, it'll help out a little bit. In January, I'll have the final version of the code, so if nobody gets around to it before then oh well, I'll get it done. I'm gonna use a guy. His name's iCoder, just so if anyone knows. He's over on MQL5. He's a really good guy, and he knocks stuff out in about 24 hours, sometimes less. I'm not affiliated with him. I'm not affiliated with any broker. He's familiar with this code, so he can rip it out, and he's done it for 5 people so far in about 6 hours. He's ripped it out and posted it on their own indicators. So you can use them, or just if you have your own coder, or if you're a coder, feel free to dump in. I'm posting the source code as soon as I'm done here. Again, other than that, once those are fixed, you will have a nice enter after candle close. No, you're trying to match the statistics exactly. So what happens is when the alert fires, you want to jump in that thing immediately because you're trying to match what this is popping. Some of you, I can already probably hear the wheels in your head turning. Yes, some people have already adapted this to an EA because once they run it and they can see that their indicator does good, you can adapt this to an EA to try to trade binary options for you. What it'll let you do is see the actual real-time statistics of an indicator before you waste the money getting it turned into an EA. So I've got like 3 or 4 people using this to now forward test their indicators so that they can develop them into an EAs because they're getting actual percentages now. The statistics are real for markets world only. Let's go back to that. The statistics are real for markets world only because of MT4 and the way it uses time. Look here, we're still stuck on 18 seconds because a tick hasn't come in for quite a bit. We went from 18 seconds to 5 seconds. That would cause the statistics to be off. But since we're using close of candle, we know that now these are legit. We're actually using the open in the code of the next candle to post. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. So we know the bugs are that these check marks draw exactly on top of the arrows if you get a back-to-back signal and it doesn't update the statistics. January, that'll be fixed. If any one of you coders wants to do that before then, just share it with the group. I'm releasing the source code as soon as I'm done. One of the other things that I'm looking at, and this is a request from the martingale traders that are out there, is, and I saw this on Forex Factory from a gentleman named Swingman. Right above here, he has martingale strategies running. Basically what that does, if you're a if you're a spot trader like I spot trade, when you run reports on your trading, it will tell you how many consecutive losses you've had in a row, consecutive wins in a row. He's going to put, you could, and I'll post it up on the forums later. He has some code out there that you could add to this that will post up the martingale strategies. It'll basically say this indicator has had 2 losses in a row 10 times, 3 losses in a row 1 time, 4 losses in a row 2 times. If you're a martingale trader, which again I don't recommend, but there's some people out there that they do it, and I don't know how, but they do it, then you could add those statistics in. It's something that I'm looking at for January. If I get enough people say, yeah, that I want to see that on there, then maybe I'll toss it on. For now, what I'll be fixing is the spacing of these arrows will get moved down so it doesn't overwrite the spacing of the check marks and the X's is going to get moved, so it's going to draw it lower so it won't overwrite the arrow signal so that the statistics will be more correct. For now, I want to put the code out there so that we can see if we can get any other feedback on things or ways to use the indicator. Again, statistical trading hasn't been pushed too much. I use statistical trading on, not statistical trading per se. I use statistics when I spot trade to help me figure out my risk reward ratio. So I figured why not apply it to binary options. You cannot apply this indicator, for anyone that's thinking, you cannot apply this indicator to spot trading. It will not work. The only reason it works on binary options trading is because we are looking at a higher or lower from the point of alert. So if it is failing, you can reverse the signal in binary options. In spot forex trading, traditional type trading, you cannot do that. And I don't want to get into the whole explanation of why, but basically because of stop loss, market movement, things like that, and the number of pips you're trying to take. We're just going higher or lower with binary options. So if it is failing miserably, then you can reverse it. It will also, like I said, if you have a favorite indicator out there, feel free to add it in there because you'll be surprised how, and this, again, the final version has last 5, 10, 25, 50, 100. You'll be surprised how the statistics can show you before you notice, even with me, that market conditions are changing and you might want to sit it out. Because how many times have you had a good setup where, like for me, I'm a confluence trader, so I go overbought, oversold, and then I have a weekly pivot, and above that I got a monthly pivot that's matching up, and it's a monthly high, and price blows through that thing and says, screw you, and you take a loss. Statistically wise, you could say, look, it's starting, the stats are starting to weaken, maybe I want to sit that trade out. That's kind of the idea behind this. And again, don't get too focused on this indicator. If you have another indicator that you're currently using, get with iCoder or some one of the guys that are in the group and see if they'll code it up for your indicator that you're using or your setup. And this is no sales pitch. I use Trading Access because that's a system I came up with. Statistics for Trading Access are completely freaking useless. Reason being, Trading Access is just giving you alerts on overbought, oversold, and then from there, it's up to your brain to take over and decide, do I want to get into that trade? So for that type of system, it's going to be completely useless. I mean, it might not be completely useless because you can see how price is responding to overbought, oversold here to help you out a little bit. But if you're buying an indicator or you have an indicator that is strictly based off of, they're saying, well, use the arrows, or you just want to see general performance wise how your alerts are responding to the market, this is a really good tool to add into just about any indicator almost to help you get a feel for the market and how it's performing currently on the market. I think that pretty much sums it up, guys. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to record this. Let me give the Dropbox link here in the chat room so you can get it. If you can't cut and paste it here, let me know. This is the indicator. The only thing you'll need to change is you need to go into RSI and put it to 275.25. That is opposite of what it would normally be. Again, this is designed to catch continuation moves. Share Dropbox link. Okay, so that's the indicator. I did forget one thing. The indicator, since it is a forward-running indicator own, I highly recommend running this on a VPS. Where I'm going to be posting the link in the video, we'll give you a link how to get a VPS through Amazon for 1 year for free. Although they do want you to put some credit card information in. What I did is I went to Walmart and got one of those little Walmart vanilla cards. I put 20 bucks on it, signed up with Amazon, used that, then I went out and bought a 12-pack of beer. So fuck them if I forget it. I got my beer. They already got their $1 charge on my card. Now let's watch the stats here. So here is the thing, because this is a forward-running Indi only, and this is very important. If you make any type of changes, and this is why I say run it on a VPS. VPS is free, so don't stress out. You can run it there. If you make any type of change to this indicator at all, it will zero out your stats. Running on a 1-minute chart, it takes about 1 day to get 100 trades. On a 5-minute chart, it takes about 3 to 4 days, and this is with this indicator only. Your indicator might be different if you apply it to your indicator. 5-minute charts, it takes about 3 to 4 days to get 100 trades, and on a 15-minute, and this is a very, very aggressive indicator. I did it just to do proof of concept. This thing cranks out freaking trades like crazy. If you notice the win-win indicator, I zeroed this bitch out and made it aggressive as possible, just so that I could show, even with a stupid-ass indicator zeroed out, no common sense, following stats, you can actually get some decent trades out of it. But anyway, back to the point. If you do anything here, if I change time frames, so I'm at 1 minute now, I'm going to switch to 5-minute. Stats are now zeroed out. So run it on a VPS if you have it possible. Again, I'm going to post up the same thing, the video and the indicator, so that you can get it on that thread that I'm going to post it on. It has how to get your VPS up and running. For the most part, completely free. It actually costs $1 through a credit card. I highly recommend just getting a prepaid card, 20 bucks on it, then go buy some beer or some food or something on it, and toss the card, because a year later, our Amazon will try and auto-renew you. What were the settings on the RSI? They are 275.25 in that order. So, come on, you little bitch. 275.25. I'll put that on the forums also so that you can see it. I don't want anyone to screw up. If you don't run it like that, it's not going to just crank out. Again, guys, don't focus on this indicator itself. Just take a look at what you can do with other indicators with it too. If you have any other ideas on how to improve this thing, let me know. I'm running it on a 1 minute charge, which for my taste is too fast to get into trades. But I was after about a month of practice, because I'm a 5 minute trader or higher. 1 minute for me was really stressful. I'm old, I guess, and I suck. Um, but remember, if you change time frames, if you go into the indicator, let's go into it here, indicator list, because I want to make this really clear. If you go in and you change anything, so if I change this to 3, the indicator will zero out. That's why I highly recommend running it on a VPS. And again, the information for the VPS will be there. None of this costs any money at all for y'all. I'm not sales pitching. I'm not doing shit. I'm just putting a new way of hopefully helping people trade. Statistical trading, as of yet, nobody's really popped forward a way to get accurate stats. Again, markets world only due to MT4 runs off of tick time. So it's not that accurate if you're using, say, stock pair, where when you hit enter on the trade, it's 60 seconds later where it's end. Because if you go 30 seconds in, then you don't get a tick update for 30 seconds, you're probably not going to get accurate results on the stats. If anyone wants to try it and give feedback that it does work that way, hey, more power to you. But this one is designed. If you have questions about the coding, one thing I can help with, in the coding there is a spot, so let's say you're not a 1 minute trader or a 5 minute trader, but you like to trade on the 5 minute charts and do 15-minute trades, let me know and I'll show you the line of code to change. You just basically change one number. Right now it's set up to close on this one. If you change the number 2 to 3, it'll record statistics on the close of this candle instead of this one. If you're a 30-minute trader, I'll show you the number to change so you can do 5-minute charge and push it out to a 30-minute trade. So it will watch until 6 candles later closes. It can be adjusted out. It's just it's one number to change in the code. Beyond that, I'd prefer either you get with a real coder, or I'll put up iCoder's name and how to get to him. He's on the MQL5 page. Yeah, but some people trade on 5-minute charts and they like to do 30-minute charts. So this is adjustable out. Other than that, are there any questions, guys? You got the indicator. I'm going to post the video up, and I'm going to post the name of the guy if you don't have a coder. If you want to add it to any of your crap indicators, not crap indicators, if you want to add it to any of your stuff. Sorry, I've had like 4 cups of coffee. My daughter woke me up at 5:30 this morning. Hopefully it's something you can use and find useful. I have honestly found it very useful. Again, I'm using the one with the 5 here. The 5 has a bug in it where it's actually doing 7 trades instead of 5. But in January, I will have a final version of this, but I would like to get feedback from people and see if there are other things you'd like to see added into this before that time, because I mean, me by myself, I'm not going to come up with the greatest ideas, but getting feedback from a group, and I got the money to blow and get it fixed up and working, so it doesn't matter to me. If you have feedback, just hit me up on Skype, on the forums where I'm going to post this, just whatever, see if we can get something going. So far, it's a pretty stable way to trade, but I'm sure I'm missing something, so. Other than that, guys, have a good day. If you have any questions about the indicator, hit me up on Skype. I'm in vacation mode this month due to hacking and crappy market conditions. So enjoy, everyone. I will post up and put a link on where all the information is going to be about the VPS and everything on Skype here in a few. I have Time Warner. It's slow as shit, so my upload speed sucks balls. But everyone have a good one, and once everything's posted up, I'll give you the link so you can get the VPS up and running if you want to. Again, I do highly recommend running this on a VPS, because if you close MT4, you do anything, it resets your stats, which is kind of pointless. The VPS just runs constantly, and you never have to dick with it. Other than that, guys, have a good one, and I'll post everything up here in a bit.